All right, peace, y'all. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Let's get into some land conversations as usual because that's what we do on this side. I want to have a conversation today about how do we actually move the needle? How do we do that? Right? And just bear with me as I'm just putting something in the chat. Today's link, and we'll jump into all of that. All right. So, how do we actually move the needle with what we do? For many of you who may know us or may not know us, first of all, we are the Acre Boys. We're active land investors, and through using these same practices that we've learned over the years from land investing, we have been able to fire our 9 to 5 jobs. The truth of the matter is, when COVID came, we had an option to go back to work or stay out of work. We chose to opt out of work because we were able to do so at that point. Land had afforded us to take that leap of faith and not return back to work. All through land investing. That's why we can tell you all about how we've done it, what worked for us, and it will work for you because we didn't really necessarily do anything genius, right? All we did is tap into an industry that already existed, previously existed. How long has this been around? I don't have to tell you. Since the beginning of time, before you was born, these same practices that we tapped into, they existed. They still exist now. Maybe things have changed a little bit over time. Clearly, technology has came into play. The older way of doing things has changed, right? Now they have different websites. They have different tools that we use that allow us to move a lot faster. But the premise is still the same thing. If you want to make a lot of money inside of this business, you need to know where to go and look at. You need to know where to get it for the right price at. And the same premise across any other business, knowing where to find things for the best prices at, that's going to serve you well inside of this space. How do we find deep discounted prices? You have to position yourself to go after what you're looking for. We deal with these days, we deal with uh, uh, a plethora of people. Everyone's desire is different. Not everyone may want to flip land. We flip land for a living. Maybe that's not your desire, is to monetize it and put it straight into your bank account like that. Maybe your desire is to get your homestead. Maybe your desire is to get a family compound. Maybe your desire is to get it to build on. We don't know. But all I say is, why not learn and position yourself how to get it for a discounted price, right? So we've been on this mission for the last 2.5 years on social, and we've been trying to say to our culture, look, let's get back to the practices that had this culture thriving when we were once prevalent in the financial department. What were some of the things that we were doing? If you want to know how to do something successfully, just look at what has worked in the past. That's a great indication of what you should go back to. And what we've came up with from the data that we researched, and now that we're inside of this space heavily, we were prevalent when we were in ownership of land and farms. That's why we have two programs, a land program and a farming program, because these are the two things that once you study, you'll find that every wealthy family has indulged in these two asset classes. Every wealthy family has it inside of their portfolio. Real estate, what's the base of real estate is land ownership. You cannot have a structure without having land. So at the base of real estate is first and foremost is land, right? And you'll find in every wealthy portfolio, any hedge fund, anyone that has acquired major wealth, you will find that they have real estate in their portfolio, right? We just concentrated it down to a niche department, which is called land, right? And this is what they don't want you to know. They don't want you to have all of this information because they were quietly getting rich off of this for eons and eons. And all we're saying is, we're just trying to introduce something that's readily available that you can tap into. Like this, you're not restricted from participating in any of these things. You're not restricted from participating in tax sale auctions. You're not restricted from buying and selling land or buying and growing on land. You're not restricted with going into rural markets and participating and getting it for the low. We're not, there's no restrictions on us. How do I know that? Because we've lived that life for the past 8 years. One area that we heavily concentrated on is the Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas area. I'm from New York City. How can I have done a bunch of deals in Mississippi successfully? Because there's no restrictions. There's no guidelines that saying you that looks like this or this shade cannot participate in this business. Just actual facts. So we're saying get involved. Get the information on how to get involved. How do you get the information to get involved? Find somebody that has the information. Who has the information? I'm screaming, like, when the teacher asks the question, I'm jumping with two hands. I have the information. I have it. I have the information. Get it. Come and get it. So what we've been doing for the past 3 years, we've been holding weekly classes, right? On Thursdays, we have our master classes. We have master classes, and our audience continues to grow. So this is like a funnel, right? There's people that constantly coming in. So this new message is new to somebody they're midway in the journey of hearing the message. To some people, they decided either this is for them or this isn't for them. All we're saying is we have to start to make decisions and make decisions fast because things change fast. Because if I would have told you 8 years ago when I was introduced to this space, all you needed was $50 to turn $50 into $3,000, I'm pretty sure everybody on this call would have ran to the bank and pulled out $50 and took advantage of that. But that's exactly where we came in at 8 years ago. Guess what? 8 years later, that doesn't exist. You can still get it for great prices, but $50 buys that you're selling consistently for $3,000 does not exist. And I was fortunate enough to come in at a time like that. And I was even late at that time because the mentor that showed us that technique in that area that was yielding those prices, they were buying for $50 and selling for $10,000. Actual fact. Because I know when we're dealing with social media, you have a bunch of naysayers. You can't buy land for $50. I have a stack of deeds over here that all of them would depict $50, $100, $150, $175. So I'm not here to change your mind or convince you on something that I lived. I'm just here to tell you that that is what happened. That's a true story. But if you're late to the party. Constantly, we're late to the party. You miss 1,000% of the shots that you don't take. Most of us sit on the sideline and just watch the game. Some of us decide to play the game. Some of us just sitting on the sideline saying, what game is going on? So how do we become successful as land investors? Not because we know about land. That's not why we became successful. Many of you on the call, you know about land. You heard about land before. You heard about people buying it. You heard about people selling it, right? Only reason we became super successful is because we had a laser focus. We put everything else to the side. We wasn't buying and selling land at the same time we was out, doing a stock course or doing a crypto course. We just hyper focus on this one lane. And that's how we became successful at doing so. That's why when you go on our page and you see us on social media, you don't see us really stray from the topic. We stay right there in that one lane. We'll continue to pound this message out until it hits home, until it works. How much land is out there to buy? More than I'll buy in this lifetime. So I can continually talk about it. What is there to do with land? There's always something to do with it. So it would always be a topic of discussion because unbeknownst to you or unconsciously to you, you're using it whether you know it or not. You're walking on it right now or you're sitting on it right now. So you're participating whether you know it or not. So why don't you just find a way to suck some finances out of something that you're engaging with regardless? I hope that makes sense. So today, 2 p.m., We're going to have a major conversation on some of the things that we're discussing now, because we have a lot of people that was trying to get to the class last night, and we understand that all could not make it. We get the data, we see how many people registered, and some could not make it. So we're doing a follow-up to that call today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on that call. It'll be a Zoom call. I like doing these calls because you get a chance to talk to me directly. When we do lives, I only can talk to you through a chat room. On this particular Zoom call, you'll get a chance to talk to me directly. You'll get a chance to ask me questions directly. So if you're on YouTube, click that link and register. It starts at 2 p.m. Opportunities. It starts at 2 p.m. If you're on Instagram, unfortunately, we don't have a keyword set up. So you have to DM me and just simply DM me and say, I'm looking for the 2 p.m. link. 2 p.m. link, and someone from my team will get the message and they'll send you over that link. So come at 2 p.m. and we're going to have a major conversation, because it's so much going on this space that I want y'all to witness and participate in. That's like a passion now, because we've kind of became the face of the land for this culture somewhat, right? And there's other people that's doing it. I understand that. But we have kind of become at the forefront of this message. So I want you to come and hear this message. I want all of us to experience some of the wins that it offers. There's so many things that we can do. You can group fund. I had a meeting the other day with someone that didn't look like me, but these people, this is who we learned the game from. And still to this day, they whatever's the latest thing that's coming down the pipeline, we're abreast of it immediately, right? And through the conversation, what was said in the meeting was, because they started this particular group, we kind of started from the same mentor. And we were catching up on what they had been doing in their respective places as land investors. And they went on to say, yeah, we don't really do the smaller deals anymore. We kind of graduated and we only do bigger deals. So I said, well, what kind of bigger deals have y'all been doing? And they said, yeah, we really won't touch it these days unless it's 200 acres, 300 acres, 400 acres. We just bought a 500-acre island. So I'm saying, well, you bought a $500-acre island. That's great. I know the individuals because I know where they started from. So we talked. So I said, well, who are you doing this with? And they said, oh, well, we're crowdfunding. We have a group of investors that we're going in on. And that's the kind of things that we should be doing, right? It should be a group of us at all times, X amount. We have to have money first. That's why I want to put you in position. Because most of us, that's the number one complaint in our culture, lack of capital. But there are some that does have it. For those that do have it, Acre Boys is more than just entry-level investing. We can get into bigger deals. That's why curating these environments, curating these communities, because it's certain things that we just won't talk about on an Instagram live or a YouTube live. We won't talk about certain things on these lives, but it is certain things that I will talk about in private. Every deal that we do is not known to social media because it's not to be told on social media. But behind doors, we can talk about, group funding and pooling money together and cultivating land and leasing land out and things like that. And farming on the land and how we create the best possible recreational property. Do you know what's prevalent right now? What's really going crazy with land? Wellness centers. That's what's really going crazy and becoming really popular inside of the land space, where they're taking a piece of land and they're putting outdoor uses and recreational uses and things that speak to wellness on the outdoor of the land, and they're leasing it or renting it out, or for a daily fee, people are coming and experiencing it. Outdoor gyms, outdoor spas, cold plunges, saunas, all of this. They're putting small farming areas on it. They're going farm to table, and they're killing it. So it's more to this than what we are able to just talk about on an Instagram post, on a 1.5-minute post. So it's vital that we start to curate these private I don't want to talk about just every little thing. I can't and I won't. But if you're in my community, you'll know that we talk about different things on our weekly training calls. Like this week, we funded 2 deals in our communities. And to my peers, these are small deals. We funded a $75,000 deal for one of our mentees that she's selling for 160. We funded, or we're funding in the midst of funding, once it goes through title, we're funding a $60,000 deal that we're selling for 160, right? Great spread for as far as from a land flipping standpoint. Those are nice spreads. Those are deals that anybody would say, yeah, from a number standpoint, if it works out that way, I would like to be involved in a deal like that. Those are regular deals. Those are things that we've been running across since for the past 7 years. Like, I don't, well, we make money. This is what we do for a living. So we have to continue to bring deals to the table. But it's a regular deal. We're looking to do bigger things now, personally, as the Acre Boys. I'm looking to help you do those deals. Regular people, well, yeah, we all regular people, so I won't say that like I'm not a regular person. Entry level people, new investors, I want you to do those deals. The Acre Boys, personally, these days, we're looking to do bigger deals and be involved in bigger situations. We're moving into the space of holding on to land and cultivating the land so it's something that we can generate an income from every 30 days. But if you're new to the space, I want to put you in position so we can loan you $60,000 and you don't have to come out of your pocket and you can take 50% of the profits, because that's what the mentees that we funded their deals this week, that's what they're doing right now. I'm going to put a testimonial up today too. Testimonial speaks to from a young lady named Stephanie, and Stephanie is I don't know. We got a large community, so I don't know exactly how much money everybody's making. I only know what they report to me. So I know Stephanie has made $100,000 in 1 month, and since then has went on to do a lot of other deals. I'm well aware of that. That $75,000 deal that I mentioned, that's Stephanie's deal. So what does that mean? Inside of our community the other day, she spoke to all the members that was on, right? We were talking and I wanted her to send some encouraging words out to new people. And she did. And she went on to say, by trade, I'm a nurse. You'll hear it in the testimonial once I put it out. She said, by trade, I'm a nurse, right? Nurses get involved with nursing because they want to help people. All right. But she's also into helping herself. So she ran across us and she opted into our program and she made $100,000. And she said, and not in her wildest dreams that she thinks she'll make $100,000 in a month. Let me pause there. That same $100,000 in a month, it didn't cost her nothing but the cost to do the business, right? So we worried about the cost to get inside of the space, the minimum cost, right? Right? It doesn't cost you $100,000 to get the education. It doesn't even cost you $10,000 to get the education. But if you knew that you would make $100,000, would you run and find $10,000? Absolutely, you would, or you should. It doesn't even cost $5,000. And that's why with us, we have to stop. We have to put our money where our mouth is. We need to have more money conversations. Because the same money that you're going to spend on a vacation, you could spend on a program or a course, and that's something that can lead you to 10 to 15 vacations. But we're so hesitant, and I ain't even addressing the ones that want the free 99 course. I'm not even talking to y'all. We got a lot of energy today. So the free 99s, we give that game on social, and we'll continue to give it for the free 99s, but you'll move at a snail's pace. Because there's been people that we've ran across and said, based upon your free game that you put out on a daily basis, I was able to go and do some things. Kudos, congratulations. That's all we want to happen. But if you want to move at a faster pace, if you want to do this on a higher level, you cannot have the free 99 mindset. It does not work. And we get all these people that complain they're unhappy about their circumstances or their jobs and all of that. But only thing I could do is give you what worked for me. And what worked for me was I found someone that was doing the thing that I wanted to do on a higher level, on the highest level, and I paid them. That's what worked for me. It wasn't no cheat code. That is the sauce right there. I found somebody that was doing something that I wanted to do, and I paid them and they gave me the game. That's it. Conversation over. Meeting is over. So when we first ran into our mentors, I knew nothing about land investing. My knowledge base was zero. I didn't even know this world existed. So if I didn't have a mentor, I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you today. That is the importance of mentorship. If I was looking to try to do this on my own, I may still be fumbling around with it. Sure, maybe would I have learned some things from YouTube? I'm pretty sure I would have learned some things. But in hindsight, would I have been able to condense this time? Clearly, we're only 8 years on the clock with this. And has all 8 years been the same? No. Because the first 2 years we started out doing tax deed investing. So we was making smaller money. Sure, we was making money, but it wasn't the same money as the last 5 years. And then when we got to the third year, were we making this kind of money we're making on the 6th year? No, we didn't. It continually went up over time. Our knowledge base continually went up over time. So everyone has had a first day. If you want to continue to fumble around and try to do things on your own, I'm just saying I think it's not the most wisest decision to make. And even if we're not talking about land, whatever you want to be involved in, if you want to learn how to crochet, if you want to learn how to knit, find somebody that's doing it. Find somebody that's has had great success of doing it, and whatever the fee is, I don't know what they charge for it. Just pay them, expedite the time. She said, "Give me the plan, not the sermon. You're killing my momentum. Let's go, Tanya. I'm gonna give it to you at 2 o'clock. Make sure you're registered. I'm gonna look for your name, Tanya, man, because they need the sermon in the plan. I'm gonna give you the plan at 2 o'clock. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to get the plan at 2 o'clock, Tanya. But I'm gonna give them the sermon because the sermon is what get them there. I gotta get them to the class first. We're dealing with social media. So I got to get them revved up. Like the preacher man, stand up every Sunday. He got to get you revved up first. Y'all know I ain't telling the story. Stop me when I am. Y'all need to be motivated before y'all do anything. Now, I respect that you're ready to go. I truly do, because I love an action taker, because that's really what it's all about. Someone that doesn't need to be pumped up. That's what it's about. Those are the people that's going to come in and have impact. The people that don't need to be pumped up. The people that says, look, I'm ready to go. I don't need the sermon. I just need the plan. Those are the ones you're going to hear about. Those are going to be the testimonials that you hear about. Those people. I don't own the land. I just know about it. So 2 o'clock, if you're on Instagram, DM me. If you're on Instagram, DM me, say, I need the 2 p.m. link. If you're on Instagram, and someone from my team will get that link out. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, I put it in the chat. Let me see can I pin it? No, I can't pin it. I'll drop it again. Oh, there we go right there. It's on the screen. It's up there. And I'll put it in the chat again. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, click the link. Then register for 2 p.m. We'll be there. I'm going to keep the same energy. I feel really good. To be honest with you, I was a little sluggish before I got on this call. That's why you just have to go. Because I didn't want to do much today. We had a long week. We had a 2.5-hour call last night that I'm still a little drained from. I didn't want to do much. But something said, go, just go. And that's the kind of attitude you have to have. Just go. And now I feel great. It's like with the gym, right? I don't always want to go to the gym, but I go. And sometimes I get my best workout when I think that I'm tired. Because once I get there, something else kicks in, a second wind or something. You never know what you're going to hear that's going to put an oomph behind you. And that's why I like being in certain environments. Nowadays, everybody that I rub shoulders with are high level earners. And when I'm on having conversations with them, whether that's on the phone, Zoom, or in person, right? The energy that flows, you can't help but to be excited. Put yourself around that type of environment. You want to do land? Put yourself around an environment, a community of land investors to where that's what we hyper focus on. Receive the information, receive the energy, and you'll be the next successful person. It's that simple. That is truly the cheat code to all of this. And never stop, never give up on it because it worked for 10 million people before you. Why wouldn't it work for you? We said last night on the call, we all know that the land vehicle works. No one can dispute that. The vehicle has been working since the beginning of time. But who's the driver? That is the question. Who's driving the vehicle? Not everyone can drive. All right, so comment. It's no comment. I'm sorry, there's no keyword. You have to hit the link if you're on YouTube and Facebook to join the class. If you are on Instagram, you have to DM me and we'll get it over. I'm gonna step away because the class does start at 2 o'clock. I'm going to run and I'm going to go and get myself a protein shake and I'll be back. Only caveat to the call and respectfully, all we ask is that you have to have your cameras on. You don't have to keep your cameras on, but I at least need to make sure that we have real people on the call at least one time. Once we identify that, then if you don't want to keep your camera on, you don't have to keep your camera on. It will be interactive. Come with your questions, right? If you come into the call, make sure that you have your questions ready to go. We'll stay on as long. No, we don't have as long as possible today on the call. This call will be, there will be a hard stop. So it won't go on no longer than an hour. I'm not sure. Sometimes we have packed houses. Sometimes we don't. I suggest that if you have any interest in talking to us directly, one-on-one, because a lot of people try to contact us, this is a time that you will be able to get us directly one-on-one to get your questions answered. So I'll see you at 2 p.m. Let's pause for a break, and time will go by rather quick, and I'll be right back on at 1:59. All right, till then, peace, love.